my friend, it's Pat Sloan here on World Quilt Day. May the 4th inch be with you. Isn't this perfect t-shirt for wearing on Quilt Day? You can also wear it to retreats, to quilt shows. If you're going to a show with some buddies, all get the same colors so that you can see each other. It comes in a few colors. It also comes in long sleeves and sweatshirts because, you know, you need a 4th inch all year long, not just in the summer. Oh, okay. So for Quilt Day, I thought I'd have sort of a smorgasbord of different items. I did have collected up some quilt news, so we're going to do a quilt news segment. I want to take a little closer look at two of the quilts that I showed you before. I did some up close videos, and then we're going to talk about critters. Gotta talk about critters. One mail call that I want to thank Esther, who sent me my very own copy of a color copy of the Tulip Ink pages and a bunch of other color copies from here. So this was a great way. She made the color copies and was able to have those so she didn't have to flip back and forth in the book. And so that is fabulous. She also sent me the templates. So thank you, Esther, for thinking of me and my poor status of no color printer here. How can a quilter have no color printer? Well, that's and do videos and not have a color printer. Yep, that's me. All right, let's see. For Quilt Day, let me just get that out of the way. So for Quilt Day, share in the group, Quilt Along with Pat Sloan at Facebook, share the current project you're sewing on. Might be something you're sewing on today, something you're working on this week, one of your current projects. So I know many of you do multiple current projects. Pick one and share what you're sewing on. So I've got my block a day. I've got 2 of them. So I'm I will try to speak with diction. So I will have 2. I'm going to try for 2 a day to get the quilt a little bit bigger. I mean, I'm basically sewing like a stack at a time. And that worked out pretty good the other day. I sewed a whole stack. So we'll see how they go because we are now on the 18th of the month. So they're, you know, a little past the middle of the month. The quilt is growing. Okay, let's talk about quilts in the news. So I have a bunch of things I collected up, and it's a lot of fun. Listen, so let's take a look. Let's start off with a quilt museum. I was asked if there was one in Florida, and I just did a Google search and came up with the Levy County Quilt Museum. It is located between Chiefland and Bronson in the state of Florida. And they have been around for a little while. They have a lot of old quilts and things for sale. They do exhibits and stuff like that. So you'd have to, you know, contact them about what's kind of going on. But the really interesting thing is they have a pretty famous quilt there. Zeigland Schoen Smith, who did a quilt called Mother Earth and Her Children. There's actually a book about it. It was made after the death of her son, and the quilt is absolutely outstanding, as you can see here from the picture. She it has tons of embroidery, tons of hand applique, and so she submitted it to the Houston Quilt Show back in 2006. I believe I remember seeing it because I would have been there for the trade show and the quilts were hanging. She sent it to Houston. They called and invited her to come to the show, and it was the best of show in 2006. It was her first quilt and also the first time she ever entered a show. And I guess on her death, her husband donated all of her quilts to this museum. All right, so that is one that you want to check out. So I had a email from Carol who sent me a link to a news story. So in Oakland, there's a lady teaching students math through quilting, which of course we all know is a fabulous way to learn math. And I know a lot of you are out there as teachers using your quilts in your classrooms in many different ways. So you might find this interesting article and a little video to go with it. So I have a link of that down in the description box. Debbie sent me a picture of her finished project that I wanted to share with you. She asked for a little piece of fabric from me to add into this project she was doing for herself. She's not sure where she's going to have this quilt end up, but it is spectacular. It's called Healing Hearts, and she decided to do this because of all the things that happened with COVID, the amount of deaths there were. She just felt like she really wanted to express herself in a quilt. It has 5,212 hearts, and they're all half-inch jewel papers from the paper piecers. So they're these little heart shapes. Debbie, thank you so much for including me and for sharing your amazing and gorgeous quilt with us. Some of you will remember the Bras for the Cause. We did this for breast cancer awareness, and I sent my quilt to Amy in Texas, and she used it for an organization, her Bras for the Cause, part of the organization she's involved with, and they did a tour. The quilt toured all over to quilt shops and sold the tickets, raffle tickets, and the quilt ended up selling for $1,500, which is fantastic. Fantastic. And the winner is Ginger, and she is the new quilter as well. That's just awesome. Thank you, Amy, for taking my quilt and sharing it with your community, and I'm so happy it was able to help your event. If you can get to Nebraska to the International Quilt Museum, the red and white quilts have been donated there from the Joanna Rose collection. And you may have heard me talk about this if you've been with me for a while. Back in 2011, her husband gave her an exhibit as her birthday present, a museum quality exhibit in New York City, and it was open to the public and it was free. And so I went with some of my friends. It was absolutely the most spectacular thing that I have ever seen. And her red and white quilts have been donated to the International Quilt Museum, and so they're going to be starting to exhibit some of them, and you'll be able to see them if you missed out on seeing them in New York. So check that out in Nebraska. And one last item, if you're not familiar with the Quilters Hall of Fame, they are located in Marion, Indiana, and they've been around for quite a long time. They have exhibits. They do a quilters. They feature a quilter every year. It's Ellie Sienkiewicz this year for 2023. And so you can see on their website, kind of the events that are going on. And I just thought it might be interesting for you to explore that if you've never been. I have actually never been to that museum. We came close one time. We were very close, but the event, it didn't work out, so I wasn't able to get over there, but I would like to see it sometime. I love getting the quilts in the news, so if you have things that are not just a local quilt show, things that last a little bit of time, because as you can see, it might take me a couple of weeks before I share it. I'm not sharing it the next day or anything like that, so I need some time to just have it on the list. It has to be like exhibits or just articles that I can link to for people that are of interest, of interest to everybody who quilts. So you can send it to me at pat@patsloan.com. It's easy to remember my name. It's just my name. So also for Quilt Day, the Fat Quarter Shop has released this wonderful quilt. It is so darling. Now, it's done with triangles on the roll, which they now own that product, and so they're manufacturer of that product now. And so it's using triangles on the roll. It will start March 30th, and they're doing it through May 11th. I cannot add anything else to my schedule. My dance card is overflowing. I cannot add another dance to it, but I'm thinking that this is what I think we're going to do, is that for the summer Black Wednesday, we'll do this. So after our Sweet Childhood Memories ends, then there'll be a little break, and then we'll do this one as the Black Wednesday. So I think that will be super, super fun. It's a free pattern. You don't have to use triangles on the roll, but if you've wanted to try them, or of course you own them already and you want to give them a go, then it is going to have all the directions and tell you about that as well. So very fun, and it uses a fat quarter bundle. I will be using my porch swing. That's what I'm going to use, porch swing. I think it'll be so much fun to sew this with that. It's a really neat quilt. Now what we're going to do is look up close at two of the quilts that I showed you recently. I just wanted to show you them a little bit more in depth. Let's take a look. I thought I just wanted to document this quilt in a way that might be a little bit different because it's a little fun, a little quirky. I would love to have met the person who made it. They had a little bit of balance going on. Do you see here this green? So here, like, looks really good, right? Really nice and balanced. But they had a little extra of that fabric. They tossed in this one here, and a little extra of that black they tossed in there. I love that there's quirky things. They've got these two, and these two are similar color, but these two are the same fabrics. These two have two different fabrics for that light. The rest of it, there's some balance going here and there, but there's also fun things. If you just deep dive into what was used, this purple is scattered all the way around in a few blocks. This chain, that's that cool. Look at that cool fabric. It's also used over here, but not in the same spot. These are flipped. Like, did she do that or he do that on purpose, or just, you know, just felt like it. Just felt like it. Don't want to put them in the same spot. That's the kind of stuff I love. It's like, you know, when we are making a quilt, we're looking at it, we're over-analyzing it, we're studying it to death for things that touch or don't touch, and just making all these massive decisions. And here's one that has some decisions, and some you just can't figure out. Now that flame print used in one block, right here, this gray one. There, where is it? I'm pointing, okay, here, this one. Only in one block, so there's enough left over. There's a little red in that one. Kind of mirror it. Yeah, I just thought you might enjoy taking a little deeper look. I'll scan back, and I'll say goodbye to this one. I'll let it go now and live a new home and keep somebody warm and comfy. Well, I thought I'd show you this one too before it goes off to a new home. The sashing area, all of this is just strips of made fabric. So I just made tons of little strips and then subcut across so that you got all of this great fun stuff. There was all these collections. This collection was was mostly, I think, one fabric line, or maybe two, that had all these different shades of blue that went with the red. I thought it looked good with that red with the rodeo girls. So anyway, and then the bark cloth is this. You can see the texture probably, and the border fabric. It has kind of a texture to it, and it's sort of it's a style fabric that was popular for a while. Maybe what, in the was it in the 60s? I don't know, I'd have to look it up. Bark cloth. So maybe you saw a lot of summer prints with it. But I thought you might enjoy seeing that again a little bit more up close. So I hope you thought that was fun. It's just how I analyze things, and maybe you do the same. Maybe you've never thought to really look at quilts that closely. The antique one was really fun to look at that maker and see how they really did their quilt, and how they laid out their blocks, and how they picked the fabric combinations. Just sort of analyzing, like a deep dive. All right, let's look at the critters. Now I have them up. I'm going to get the other camera and we'll talk about it a little bit more face on. But this is all the animals I've received from all of you. I made the butterflies and the crab. I made the butterflies and the crab, and everything else was made by all of you. But I need to know, I didn't keep good track. Email me, pat@patsloan.com, who made the penguin, the swan, the koala, and the panda. I think Peggers made one of those, but I didn't mark it because she also made the llama and the flamingo. And I think, Peggers, you sent me another one of those, but I don't remember which one. So if you've made the penguin, the swan, the koala, or the panda, send me a note. All right, let's look at the other camera and just talk about the... Okay, I'm pulled way back here so that you can see all of them. This is about as far back as I can go in the room with this camera. All right, so I'm going to come in. One of the things when you're looking at this is I could sort these in several ways to do two quilts. I could do them by color. So there's a lot of blue, and pink. The blue and pink look really good. And then there's more the earth tones, the koala. Well, he could go either way. The owl, the dog, another dog, the horse. The reds could go with the earth tone. So, you know, the penguin could go either way. So I could split it two ways like that, or it could be by animal. I could do the different animals, like certain animals in one quilt, like maybe more, you know, maybe tropical animals. I don't know, like what would be the best way, but I'm thinking more color oriented, two quilts in the more color oriented. So that is how it is. Just go real quick and look at them up more, a little bit up close. Aren't they fabulous? Ah, so fun. This just cracks me up with the glasses. Cracks me up. And I love the flamingo. And there's my crab up there. And then a couple people asked about the elephant. My elephant block is a pillow. So of course the elephant would be cute in there, but it's already in a block. And then my shark, which is again also made into a pillow already. So these two are both already quilted and they're pillows. All right, one last scan back at all of the critters. They are fabulous on this quilt day. So at some time I will decide, probably this will be two quilts, and then they can be a decent size, maybe get a border on them. I have some spacing between the blocks. So two quilts will probably be what it is. So if you told me you were sending me one, or didn't tell me but you're thinking about sending one, send it. Go ahead and send it, and it can be added in. And for those of you, I don't know if I brought it out here, but the oh yeah, here it is. For those of you who were wondering whether the horse is a horse or a donkey, it is a horse. Per the designer, Lori Holt, in her book, it says it's a horse. It's a happy horse block. So that is a horse block. just wanted to set the record straight, because a few people were trying to make it into a donkey. Okay, may the 4th be with you. I just have to tell you what it comes on other things. So there's a super cool water bottle. Look at that. And then there's the insulated cup. This also comes on white. So it comes on this as well. And I believe this and the mug also come in white, and then the black has the colors on it. You know, it has colors, but it also comes, I think, just plain black and white. And this comes in a white version. Then there is the sticker. Here we go, which also has a few shooting stars. Looks good on your sewing machine. And the notebook, because you know you need to take notes when you go to the show, or you go to retreat, or you're in your studio. You might as well use a fun sewing notebook. And then there is the zippy pouch. It's awesome size too. This is an awesome size zippy pouch. Plus Kate Spain also designed a floral for us. So darn cute, right? So darn cute. I think I may have said that once or twice. And then the bag. So cute. Yeah? All right, my friends. Happy Quilt Day. Share a picture of what you are working on. I can't wait to see it. I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.